I been sleeping?
Oh, not very long, sir.
Whew. Well, you did a good job of sweeping up, Sedgwick.
Thank you, sir.
Don't you see now how things go better when you don't try to cut corners?
Oh, I think I've learned my lesson about that, sir.
Well, I should hope so. Oh, look at that. Well, Sedgwick, you did a good job of sweeping, but tomorrow you had better dust. This place.
Yes, sir.
And you know, if I remember correctly, this place hasn't been dusted all century. It'll be a big task.
Sir, how long do I have to study before I become a wizard?
You are not to become a mere wizard. You are to succeed me, and in order to do that, you're going to have to be able to do more than even I can do myself.
Wow.
Yes, wow, indeed.
That'll take a lot of time.
Well, Cedric, time is one thing that never runs out.
What are you looking for anyway?
Don't you remember I was trying to make a fetish for the Elfin King?
I thought you promised to make him a talisman.
Oh, they are synonymous.
Sinani, what?
Synonymous.
Well, what does that mean?
A synonym is a word that means exactly the same as another word.
Well, why do we need two of them then? Isn't that just confusing?
Oh, Cedric, synonyms enrich our language. Why, it's boring to use the same word over and over again. Besides, even when those words mean the same thing, there's often a different feeling about them.
I don't understand.
Oh. Remember when you told me that you gave your brother a statuette for his birthday?
Yes.
It would have sounded much better if you had told him that it was simulated, not fake marble.
But don't they mean the same thing?
Exactly. But simulated sounds much better than fake.
Now I think I understand. Hey, that's great. I want to learn lots of synonyms. That way when I have to buy cheap presents, I can make them sound expensive.
That is not their primary purpose, Cedric. But whatever your reasons are for learning them, they are valuable to know. And you know, most common incantations use uncommon synonyms like talisman and fetish, and amulet and caduceus also mean the same thing. Yes.
Now I think I see what you mean.
Good. But to make sure, I've prepared a little list for you to practice with.
Yes, sir.
While Sedgwick is practicing her synonyms, why don't you join her?
Take out a pencil and paper. Here is the wizard's list. Copy these words on the left side of your paper. Then see if you can think of a synonym for each word and write it down in your papers. Here are the first 4 words. Here are some possible answers. Here are the next 4 words. Can you think of synonyms for them? Here are some possible answers. Here are 4 more words. Write a synonym for each word. And here are some possible answers. Here are the last 4 words. Write a synonym for each word on your paper. And here are 4 possibilities.
Well, how did you do?
Here, take a look.
Well, Cedric, not bad. Not bad at all. Well, you just might make it after all. That's good.
Hey, what's that sound?
Oh, dear. There's a unicorn in my herb garden. It's eating all the enchanted flowers.
It really is a unicorn. It's beautiful.
Oh, yes, they're stunning creatures. But they're disastrous for my garden. Oh, and I'm already late for my appointment with the Elfin King. What will I do?
Can I help?
If I do give you a task, are you sure that you can follow the instructions to the letter?
Oh, yes.
Well, oh, it's eating the mandrake roots. Well, that settles it. I'll have to trust you.
Am I going to get to do a spell?
Yes. There's no time to waste. If we don't get that unicorn out of the herb garden, it'll eat all the flowers up.
Oh, boy, I'm going to do a spell.
Oh, calm down at once. It takes more than raw enthusiasm to conjure successfully, or you must pay strict attention to detail.
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is it.
This is what?
This is a formula to get rid of unicorns. With this formula, you don't have to get rid of the whole unicorn, only its horn. Unicorns always follow their horns, you know.
Is the horn removable?
Why, yes. At times they must appear as regular white horses.
How about that?
Well, here. Now, this spell was copied by another apprentice, who I might say was even more hopeless than yourself. Now, this copy here is typical of his sloppy work. Why, there are misspelled words in it. Well, I've underlined them, and you must correct them and recite the spell.
Yes, sir.
All right, now, oh, I'm so late. All right, now correct the words and recite the incantation. We have to get that unicorn out of that garden. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. The wizard has entrusted me with this incantation. I must not fail him. Oh no, the unicorn's eating the azalea bush now. I've got to hurry.
Students, see if you can help Sedgwick spell these words correctly.
Take out your pencils and papers. When you hear the word, write it down on your paper. The first word is accurate. The wizard proved to be an accurate shot. Accurate. The second word is achievement. To become a wizard would be Sedgwick's greatest achievement. Achievement. The next word is aluminum. Aluminum is light yet strong. Aluminum. The last word is chemistry. Chemistry is an interesting science. Chemistry. Now let's see how you did. If you find a misspelled word, draw a line through it and write the correct spelling next to it. The first word was accurate. It is spelled A-C-C-U-R-A-T-E. The second word was achievement. It is spelled A-C-H-I-E-V-E-M-E-N-T. The third word was aluminum, and it is spelled A-L-U-M-I-N-U-M. The last word was chemistry, and it is spelled C-H-E-M-I-S-T-R-Y. Study any words you may have misspelled for Friday's test.
Now let's see how Sedgwick's doing.
I-S-T-R-Y, chemistry. Well, I've corrected all the mistakes. Now to recite the incantation. I must recite this spell carefully because it has to be accurate. I invoke the mighty Apollo, driver of the sun's chariot, which is a magnificent achievement. I also invoke Pegasus, the flying horse, whose symbol is aluminum, which is light yet strong. And lastly, I invoke Vulcan, the king of chemistry. These three gods I command you. Now let's see. It says that I'm to search for... I'm supposed to describe the object, but I'm not supposed to name it. And I'm supposed to remove the horn of the unicorn because it will follow it. I command you to search for a pointed, cone-shaped object and spirit it away. Oh, the unicorn's still there.
Sedgwick, have you seen my hat? It's the source of much of my power.
I recited the spell, and I described the horn of the unicorn, and I asked that the god spirit it away. Oh, sir, I didn't realize until just now that your hat has the same shape. It's pointed and cone-shaped, just like the horn of the unicorn. The gods must have thought I meant your hat.
What? First, I'm late for my appointment with the Elfin King, and then I have to return because I didn't get anything accomplished? And now you have banished my hat?
Will the wizard retrieve his hat? Will Sedgwick be forgiven? We'll find out in the next episode of The Apprentice's Journey on Spelling Plus.
It seems as if Sedgwick has once again gotten herself into trouble. Little does she know that when she tried to banish the unicorn from the garden, she would instead banish the wizard's hat.
Don't you have any idea how much work it takes to bring something back that's been banished by a spell?
No, sir. I guess I had to learn the hard way.
Well, if you learned anything at all, I suppose it was worth it.
But I lost your hat. And you said that it takes a lot of work to recall something that's been banished by a spell.
And so it does ordinarily. However, as valuable as it is, perhaps it's a good choice that you banished my hat by mistake.
I don't understand. You said the hat was the source of much of your power.
Yes, but because of its importance, it carries special powers.
What powers?
Because so many that deal in magic would like to possess my hat, I made sure that it was always returned to me if it was lost or stolen.
It doesn't seem to be doing that right now, sir.
Well, you banished it. Therefore, it must travel beyond my realm before it comes back to me. But as soon as it does, it will come back to me.
Are you certain, sir?
Of course, I'm certain. I trained it myself with the aid of a enchanted boomerang that any minute now it's going to materialize on my head. I know it.
That's wonderful, sir. For a minute, I thought we'd never see the hat again, and... Uh-oh. I think something went wrong, sir.
Nonsense. What could have gone wrong?
Well, it's just that there's on your head, it's a...
Are you trying to tell me that my hat has returned already? Oh, what's this?
It's the enchanted boomerang, sir. It came back, not your hat.
Oh, I think it's going to be one of those days.
Maybe you cast the spell incorrectly.
Are you suggesting that I made a mistake?
Oh, no, sir.
Ah. What's this? What? It's returned. Well, of course it's returned. I knew I cast that spell correctly.
Yes, sir.
Well, now I must leave, I have a task for you to complete.
What kind of task, sir?
Well, this is an incantation for loosening of knots. And you must, there are some words that you must change.
Why is that, sir?
Because after so many years of so much use, they've lost some of their charm. Yes, you find substitutes for them.
Do you mean synonyms, sir?
Why, yes, exactly. Well, you remembered. But mind to spell them correctly.
Oh, I will, sir.
All right, here's this. Let me see now. Now, here, right here. Here is a lexicon or dictionary.
Is that another synonym, sir?
You're so good, Cedric. Okay, yes, I've underlined the words in it that you must change. Now, you busy yourself. I've got to go. Goodbye.
While Sedgwick is looking up the 4 words, take out a pencil and paper and see how many of them you can spell correctly.
When you hear the word, write it down on your paper. The first word is insignia. The wizard has an insignia on his hat. Insignia. The second word is volume. The answer was found in the 4th volume of the book. Volume. The third word is variable. When Sedgwick lost her voice, her moods became variable. Variable. The last word is unique. The wizard has a unique collection of samples on the shelf. Unique. Now it's time to check your answers. If your spelling was incorrect, draw a line through it and write it again correctly. The first word, insignia, is spelled I-N-S-I-G-N-I-A. The second word, volume, is spelled V-O-L-U-M-E. The third word, variable, is spelled V-A-R-I-A-B-L-E. The last word, unique, is spelled U-N-I-Q-U-E. Don't forget to practice spelling any of the words that you missed for Friday's test.
While I have the dictionary out, I should look up the words I've studied already so that I won't forget them.
Students, let's follow along and see how many you can remember correctly. Take out your pencils and paper and get ready to write.
Let's see, the first word was accurate. No wonder they call this a magic dictionary. For some strange reason, all the words that I need are scrambled. All the letters are there, but only the first letter is in its proper place. I guess I'll have to unscramble them.
Remember, only the first letter of each word will be in its proper place. Unscramble the rest of the letters and a word will appear. I'll give you the definition to give you a clue. Ready? Here's the first word.
This group of letters will spell a word meaning correct or exact. See if you can figure it out and write it down on your paper. The word is accurate. Arrange the letters to spell a word that means accomplishment. The word is achievement. Arrange the letters to spell a word that means a light metal. The word is aluminum. These letters spell the name of a science. The word is chemistry.
I got them all right. I'm sure glad I noticed these words. The wizard will be proud that I fixed them for him. Guess I won't be needing this for a while. Hey, what's this? It's a book of magic knots. And this is an incantation to untie knots. This to make knots, and this to loosen knots. It's the perfect combination. It shows how to make dozens of magic knots. Oh, these don't look too hard. Look at the table of contents. The hexing timber hitch, the wizard sheepshank. There's so many. I want to learn a knot trick to make the wizard really proud of me. This should be a great one to do, the penetrating knot. For the best results in doing this magical knot, thou shouldst obtain a quantity of knotweed, which only grows in the garden of Sir Gordian Knotwell. Sir Gordian will furnish knotweeds without fee to anyone who will advertise his products on the local scroll boards. Great! It won't even cost me anything. I must write to Sir Gordian at once. It should be a formal letter, a business letter.
Sedgwick is going to write a business letter. Please take out a pencil and paper and follow her through the 6 steps of a business letter.
First, she writes the heading, which includes her address and the date, on the top right-hand side of the page. Second, she writes the inside address of Sir Gordian Knotwell on the left side of the page. Third, she writes the greeting underneath the inside address. The greeting should be polite and formal. Fourth, she writes the body, which covers the reasons for writing the letter. The body should be clear, brief, and polite. Fifth, she writes a closing, which should also be polite and formal. Finally, she writes her signature. Now take out another sheet of paper and you will have a chance to practice writing a business letter. Use Sedgwick's letter as a guide. Since this is for practice, you may make up any address, name, and so on that you like. You will have 2 minutes to start the letter. If you run out of time, you can finish it after the show. Now let's listen in as Sedgwick proofreads her letter.
From C.A. Sedgwick, Wizard's Castle, Enchanted Realm, 90655. To Sir Gordian Notwell, 7 Mystic Lane, Knott's Berry, Misty Land, 77777. So far so good. Dear Sir, I am studying magical knots and would be most appreciative if you would send me free knotweeds from your farm. I will be happy to advertise your farm on the local scroll board. Thank you for giving your attention to this request. Sincerely, Catherine Allen Sedgwick. That should do it. And here's an envelope. Let's see. My return address goes on the upper left-hand corner. And Sir Gordian's address goes just about in the center. Now I must ask the wizard what's the best way to send it. It's going to take a long time before I get those magical knotweeds from Sir Gordian, and I'm not very good at waiting. I don't see what harm it'll do if I just practice a little first. I need to find a rope. This looks good. Nice and strong. Now for a practice run-through of the penetrating knot trick. I'll just time myself first and see how long it takes me. Oh, it's no use. I don't know what could have gone wrong. The more I try to wriggle out of this mess, the tighter these ropes get. Oh, I've got to stay calm. The only thing is that I get loose from these knots before the wizard returns. I know. I'll use the incantation. Oh, if I could only reach it. Oh, it's no use. I can't reach it.
Will Sedgwick figure out what went wrong with the incantation? Will she escape from the tangled web she wove before the wizard returns? We'll just have to wait until the next episode of The Apprentice's Journey on Spelling Plus.
Oh no, the wizard's returning. I can't let him find me here like this.
Well, what do we have here?
Hi, sir. Glad to see that you're back. How was your trip?
Cut the small talk, Cedric. Just explain to me how you got in this little situation of yours here.
Well, sir, I was just going to practice a few of the magical knot tricks and, well, I guess I got a little carried away.
Is it safe to assume that once again you have not followed my instructions to the letter?
Well, I didn't think a little practice would hurt anything.
Cedric, once again you've underestimated the power of magic. I hope you've learned a lesson from this.
Yes, sir, I sure have.
Oh, good.
Now, sir, will you please untie me?
Not so fast, Cedric. In order to gain your freedom, you're going to have to earn it.
But how?
Well, by completing a list of your spelling words, I'll see how much time you've put into your studies.
Okay, students, let's follow along and see how well you remember these words. Please take out your pencil and paper. I'll show you a scrambled word and give you a verbal clue. You unscramble the word and write the correct spelling on your paper. Here's the first one. This word means correct. The correct word was accurate. The next word means a great deed. The word was achievement. This word is a strong, lightweight metal. See if you can unscramble it. The correct word was aluminum. This next word describes a branch of science that deals with the properties of chemicals. The word was chemistry. This word describes an emblem. The word was insignia. The next word refers to the capacity of a container. The word was volume. The next word means inconstant or apt to change. The word was variable. Here's the last word. Unscramble these letters to find a word that means original. The correct word was unique. Let's see how well Sedgwick is doing.
And the last word is unique. U-N-I-Q-U-E.
Well, not bad at all, Cedric. I am pleasantly surprised.
Does that mean that you'll untie me, sir?
As we speak.
Wow! I'm free! I'm free!
All right, enough of that already.
Oh, sorry.
I think you have much work ahead of you, Cedric.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's see. Yeah, I think you need to sharpen your research skills.
My research skills?
Yes, your research skills. It's time you found out how to use a bibliography.
A biblio what?
A bibliography. Yeah, I'll show you. A bibliography. Let's see, here's the back of this. Right there we go. See? B-I-B-L-I-O-G-R-A-P-H-Y. Bibliography. Now that's a combination of two words. Biblio meaning book and graphy meaning to record. So a bibliography is a record of books used in research. Yes, it is. And it's usually in the back of the book so that you can find out where to look for additional information.
I think I understand, sir.
Is that right, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good, good. Well, let me see now. Go and get my copy of Magic Made Easy. Oh, never mind, I'll get it myself. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there, turn to the back and find the bibliography.
Yes, sir. Here it is.
A bibliography is an excellent way of finding books that deal with a particular subject.
That's great to know, sir.
Yes.
You sure are a smart wizard.
Oh, Cedric. Well, let's see how smart an apprentice you are. I want you to compile a list of books that you're interested in and that have to do with magic.
Do they have to be in any particular order, sir?
Oh, yes. Bibliographies should be arranged alphabetically according to the author's last name. Oh, my, I have a feeling I'm late for an appointment. Well, be good and finish your bibliography, huh? Okay. Oh, and one more thing. Should you finish your list on the bibliography there, I've left a list of new spelling words for you in that book that you had there. So now, be good and study and try to stay out of trouble.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, Cedric.
Goodbye. I better get to work on my bibliography.
Students, let's see if you can compile a bibliography like Sedgwick is doing. Please take out your pencils and papers. Here is a list of 5 book titles and authors. Arrange these books as they would appear in a bibliography. Remember, they should be listed in alphabetical order by the author's last name. You need only list the author's last name to save time. Good luck. Here's how your list should look. Did you place the authors' names in the proper order? Before we go on, see if you can answer the 3 following questions. Write your answers down on your papers. Here's the first one. How are bibliographies alphabetized? How is the author's name written? And the last one. What punctuation mark follows the author's full name? Now check your answers. Question number 1. Bibliographies are alphabetized by the author's last name. Number 2, the author's name is written last name first. Number 3, the author's full name is followed by a period.
Now let's check back in on Sedgwick.
There, I'm done. Knowing how to use a bibliography is going to help me a lot in my studies. Speaking of studies, the wizard said he left a list of spelling words in this book. Here they are. I'd better study these words so I can be as good a magician as the wizard is.
Please take out your pencils and papers as we take a look at Sedgwick's new words for today.
When you hear the word, write it down on your paper. The first word is suitable. When you go to a formal dance, you should wear suitable clothes. Suitable. The second word is turbulent. The turbulent weather ruined the wizard's garden. Turbulent. The next word is geometry. Geometry is a branch of mathematics. Geometry. The last word is efficiency. The chemicals must be mixed with great efficiency. Efficiency. Now, students, let's see how you did. If you find a misspelled word, draw a line through it and write down the correct spelling. The first word was suitable. It's spelled S-U-I-T-A-B-L-E. The second word was turbulent. It's spelled T-U-R-B-U-L-E-N-T. The third word was geometry. It is spelled G-E-O-M-E-T-R-Y. The last word, efficiency, is spelled E-F-F-I-C-I-E-N-C-Y. Study any words you may have missed for Friday's test.
E-F-F-I-C-I-E-N-C-Y. Efficiency. Hey, I got it right. I think I've studied these words long enough. What's this? How to operate crystal ball. This sounds interesting. A beginner's guide to the crystal ball. Let's see what it says. How to look into the future. That sounds good. Rules for beginners without wizardly powers. That's me. Oh, wait. The wizard warned me against using the powers of magic. But he couldn't have been talking about something this simple. He just let me use the crystal ball the other day. I don't think he would mind. Now, where was I? Step 1. Rub crystal ball 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Step 2. Repeat 4 magic words of choice. I think I'll use the words I just learned today. Efficiency, geometry, turbulent, and suitable. Then tell the crystal ball what you would like to see. Crystal ball, take me to the future.
This is Chris Rosender, an aerospace engineer with McDonnell Douglas in Huntington Beach, California.
This is a model of the space station that McDonnell Douglas has designed for NASA. NASA wants to build a space station equivalent to a house up in space where people can live, work, and perform experiments. Things can be made up in space in the absence of gravity that can't be made here on Earth, such as strong materials, or new drugs, life-saving drugs that can be made cheaper, faster, and with greater purity levels in the absence of gravity. They also want a platform to study the universe without the interference of the atmosphere. They also need a platform to repair and service satellites that have quit working for some reason or another. The station is made up of individual modules. These modules are brought up in the cargo bay of the shuttle orbiter and then assembled in space by space workmen to form this complete space station. The modules themselves are about 24 feet long and 14 feet in diameter, equivalent to a small living room. The entire station would be equivalent to a 3-bedroom house there. Here on the bottom of the station is the shuttle docking port. This is the point at which the shuttle docks with the station to empty supplies such as food, water, and oxygen into this logistics module. It makes a trip about once every 3 months to resupply the stations with its needs. It is here that we will have space mechanics. They'll go up into space, bring back a satellite and dock it here, repair it, service it, take care of whatever needs it has, and then release it back up into space to perform its original operations, such as communications. If we then go to the center of the station, we have this strong beam that extends up to these 2 large panels. They look like the wings of an airplane, but they're actually solar panels. They capture the sun's energy, convert it into electrical power, and then provide all the electrical needs for the space station. All the experiments need electrical power, and things just to support the astronauts, such as cooking or air conditioning, heating, any of the needs that the astronauts have in order to survive in the harsh environment of space. This is the concept that NASA is looking at right now. They hope to have it built by the early 1990s and have people such as you and I up there working and performing experiments and manufacturing new materials that can't be made here on Earth.
Oh no! What could be wrong? Oh, I broke the wizard's crystal ball. How am I going to fix it before he gets back?
Will Sedgwick be able to repair the crystal ball before the wizard returns? Find out tomorrow on the next episode of The Apprentice's Journey on Spelling Plus.
Special thanks to McDonnell Douglas Corporation and Chris Rosander.